So Boris Johnson is now being accused of Islamophobia, you know, that thing that doesn't really exist, because Islam is genuinely terrifying. Okay, Sharia, and the fact that there's governments around the world that work to the Sharia mandate, enforcing Sharia law, enforcing all these horrific anti-law laws. That's what I see Sharia as, but there are people in this country that say that it's intolerant to criticise Sharia. Even if you say that Sharia kills gays and, you know, women, etc., well, that's intolerant to say that. That's fanning the flames of Islamophobia. And so we come to this latest Boris accusation. Of course, Boris is just offering a dog whistle to people on the right or people who are going to be his perceived voters. But at least he has a fan base, which is more than you can say for Theresa May, who is basically just rebuffing his comments and saying, oh, they were disgusting, they were disrespectful to women. What, saying that a burqa looks like a letterbox is disrespectful to women? Well, he's wrong, of course, because a burqa doesn't look like a letterbox. That's the niqab. But it's a technicality, it doesn't really matter. And saying that it's, you know, respecting women, that they can wear a burqa, that's respecting women, is it? Because they have a choice. It's their choice to wear the hijab or get stoned to death. So they choose to wear the hijab or the burqa or whatever. But the burqa is an instrument of oppression in Middle Eastern countries. It was imposed on women, forced to wear it. And now they choose to wear it themselves because, well, they'll get stoned to death by men if they don't, in this patriarchy called Islam, which the feminists seem to like because they're not really feminists, because they don't like femininity. That's why they like Islam, that's why they hate motherhood. It all makes sense now. Feminists want to destroy femininity. That's why the ones that claim to be feminists, that hold up the signs and say, you know, my pussy is not to be touched or grabbed or whatever, are always fat, repulsive lesbians with tattoos all over their bodies and armpit hair and green armpit hair and whatever. The problem is most people in this country don't like the burqa. They don't like walking around seeing a bin bag walking around. I mean, that's just not, you know, society. That's not our society in the West, and that is not conducive to social interaction or communication of any kind. It just stirs resentment in people, and it makes people think of the oppression that people feel in the Middle East, especially if they're Muslims or Muslim women and they've escaped those countries. They've come to this country and they've seen the exact same thing. And they've been bullied by exactly the same Muslim men. Or, because they didn't wear the veil, a gang of Muslim men have burned their baby with acid or something. You know, that's just the new normal now. But apparently it's fanning the flames of Islamophobia if you point it out. If you say you're unhappy with the fact that a baby got burned, a 3-year-old baby got burned because of Muslims who were unhappy that a woman wasn't wearing the veil because it was disrespectful to Muhammad, so a baby got burned because of Muhammad. And if you're happy with that, then quite frankly, you don't belong in the country. Quite frankly, you belong in a jail. Nobody's happy with that because everyone knows someone who's had an experience. I know someone whose mother was spat at by women because she was wearing a low-cut top. She was spat at by bin bags walking by. I don't even know how they can spit. Have they got like a special little slot for their mouth? They are a joke. They're a joke. They look like ring wraiths. They worship a medieval barbaric religion that stones women to death. Yeah, it's my choice to wear the hijab because I don't want to get stoned to death. That's not choice, is it, Muslim women? The stupidest of all women. You know, they come over here, form their own communities, but they don't mix with ours. And that's why people say it doesn't adapt. It's not possible to adapt the Islamic religion and these cultures that come over, etc., that don't want to adapt to our Western ways. And they don't need to adapt. They don't need to be able to speak English. They don't even need to be able to communicate. They just need to be able to vote. Because this is a ploy. This is a cloud and pivot strategy to get lots of people in to vote a certain way. And they will vote for more open borders. Of course they will. They'll vote for the thing that brought them in. They'll vote for the party that encouraged them to come in. And in this case, is Labour. Naz Shah, who said that, you know, raped girls, groomed girls should just be quiet for the sake of diversity. Labour. But it doesn't matter if you can communicate with them. As long as they can vote, that's what it's all about. You can have pepper pots and letterboxes at the ballot box. It doesn't matter. And it just so happens that many of them have brown skin. But it's a cultural problem, and that conflates with race and religion. That doesn't mean we're blaming the race or blaming the religion. In fact, we are blaming the religion. But it's cultural and religious more than it's race-related. And yet everyone in the media, the first thing they say whenever there's a Muslim attacker, whenever there's something that's culturally, you know, significant, like the Pakistani rape gangs, they always just say Asian men. They always list them by race when it's the least relevant thing about the crime. And they know it.